Hey,
All
my little
right,
cucks.
All right, what's
Rusty
up, dude?
S.
What do you got, man?
You're on the docket.
I mean, first of all, how fucking retarded is the definition of DNA for what makes a person? Come on. How can you not see how fucking stupid it is?
I mean, it's like the scientific definition for what like makes you the species you are. I mean,
do you think DNA is like a discrete thing, like a number?
kind of. It's a sequence of amino acids that are
Yeah,
discretely.
but it's different for every person.
Do you know that like your ability to reproduce is because we share a certain commonality in our DNA, right? It's not like a totally
Yes,
random.
but there's degrees of commonality, so your
Yeah.
definition is really.
No, it's not. There's a science. Do you disagree that there is a scientific definition for human? Do you not know what that means? Do you think that that's no? Okay, what was your thing? I'm sorry, I missed it. You said okay. Start from the beginning. Okay, go. I said DNA is a good meme for human beings, and you said that it doesn't because DNA is arbitrary somehow, and then we yeah, go for it.
DNA, or it can go for my definition.
Go for it.
DNA, or it can go for my definition. Should I go for the counter first?
Give me your definition. I don't want to go into pure autism.
Okay. So this is a bit of a morbid definition, but I think what works much better is to what extent a living being can suffer. That plays into the idea of being on a scale of personhood. The more things that can make you suffer, the more of a person you really are. An animal can suffer physical pain, but maybe not something like the pain of breaking up with your girlfriend, like a higher level person would. I mean, do you see anything wrong with that definition?
So what if you have a condition where
That's physical suffering.
you aren't able?
That's
No, I
also
mean,
no,
no,
like
no,
that's
some
really
people
that's
can't emotionally
well,
suffer
but that's
either.
really weird edge cases. It's really weird edge cases. Why does the emotional suffering make you heal, or why does suffering make you?
Because it speaks to a higher level of cognitive processing when you can suffer from different things. Like if you can suffer from, I don't know, a long-term relationship blowing up or dropping out of being expelled from college or something like that, that an animal wouldn't suffer from these things, and that's why humans are elevated above the level of an animal. But animals share certain things, like they can suffer from rejection in some basic ways. They can suffer physical pain. They can suffer starvation, whatever. And in that sense, they are on the scale of being a person, huh?
Don't elephants like grieve over their young when they die? I mean,
well, yes. I'm not arguing that animals can be close to human in some regards. I'm arguing that there is a scale.
And it's based on how close
how
to
much
human...
you can suffer.
Okay.
In what ways you can suffer.
I guess I just don't like it. I just don't see the connection. I mean, I understand what you're saying, and I guess you could even apply that fairly consistently. So that's how you could derive that animals are worthy of some protections,
yeah,
but
you
not
can't,
as many as humans.
But how can you stick with your DNA argument?
Because I think it's
okay,
I think it's more consistent.
Okay.
For instance, how can you rate the suffering?
You
how can you rate the suffering of humans higher than the suffering of animals?
Because of the way in which they can suffer.
What way? What do you mean, like way?
Like what I said, like the examples I gave. The ways in which you can suffer as a human is more. You can suffer from hunger. You can suffer from.
Yeah, you're not listing things specific to humans, because animals can suffer from hunger, as torture, or even the loss of like family members.
Can an animal suffer from having, I don't know, no money or breaking up? Maybe in some ways, but not on the same level. Maybe, or can they suffer from?
I mean, maybe,
also,
but I feel like
on the flip side, also what they can enjoy, you know, also what they can enjoy. It goes both ways.
I don't think I agree. I think animals can suffer at almost most of the same ways that people can, unless you can name me some like really specific examples. I think animals share most of our suffering. Like, can you name some? Or can you give me like one example that's uniquely human?
Well, things that come out of living in modern society.
Like what? Like name one thing.
Like what I said.
Like just give me one example.
Of being expelled from college.
I guess maybe.
Do you see many animals in college? I don't know.
I guess like the problem I get is that like I feel like most human. Whoa, are you okay? Hello?
Me?
Yeah. Oh.
I'm fine.
Okay. I thought I heard something. I feel like most human suffering can usually be traced back to kind of like baser things. So like you bring up the example of like you bring up the examples of like failing college, but I don't know if like failing college on its own has its own emotion, right? I think that has more to do with failing the people around you or failing
Yeah,
yourself.
it causes you certain emotions and maybe people around you, which
Yeah.
it wouldn't have for animals.
Well, but I think animals share a lot of those baser instincts. They just might not have the same institutions to process them.
they
So
share the instinct of trying to get a degree and making money.
you don't have an instinct to try and get a degree and make money. That's not an instinct to being human.
Well, it's something that's conditioned.
Sure, yeah. But I mean, like, you could point to, like, if you've ever, it feels like I'm reaching. I hope it doesn't. But, like, you can point to, like, there are animals, dogs specifically, that goes through very, very, very specific training courses, right? And any failure that they have there, I mean, is an immense disappointment to them and their owners as an
Yes,
extension
and
of
that's
that,
why
right?
they're more of a person than a rock, for example.
Yeah, I guess, but, like, I'm trying to find, like, your hardcore line, like, well, this is why people are so much better than animals, because animals can share a lot of this suffering. Dolphins are very intelligent, and they can share a lot of very intelligent suffering as well. Like,
Not to the same degree. Like, do animals suffer from like psychological,
yes?
I don't know, torture in some ways? Like, no, not really.
What do you mean?
Can
Well,
you,
like, you could keep an
Like-
animal awake for long periods of time. You could keep
that's
food in.
physical torture, though.
Well, all torture is physical. What do you mean?
No.
What do you
That's
mean
not
no?
true.
What's the psychological torture?
I mean,
You could talk about the helpless
Bullying.
Stuff for animals, where if you keep shocking a dog and it's trying to like go eat, it'll just stop trying to eat. It'll stop. It'll like
Yeah,
learn
sure.
to
Or
just be
keeping
helpless.
food
It'll
like
learn
right
helplessness.
out of sight of the animal,
Yeah,
so that
that's- I
or
would say
right
that-
inside, but out of reach.
I would say that's
yes,
psychological.
exactly. That's psychological torture, but there are more ways you can psychological torture a human than an animal. No? Don't you agree?
Maybe, but I feel like we're like in. I don't know. Like the more asterisks that you have to put like at the end of your definition, I feel like the weaker it becomes.
Yeah, but it comes down to humans have a more complex mind than an animal. So they live in a modern society. They have to do stuff. They have to fulfill obligations. Animals don't have to do that, and that is what causes additional suffering.
Okay, if you're
Potentially.
looking at you're looking at the complexity of the mind as what makes us human.
Well, that is an underlying concept, yes.
Well, then get to the point. If it's not that, what is it?
Well, that influences it, right?
Well, it
Because
influences what?
The degrees in which you can suffer, the ways in which you can suffer, is related to how complex your mind is in a way, and what you can appreciate. That's like the flip side.
Holy shit. So
So can I give you an example for?
Yeah,
Can I
sure.
give you a problem for your DNA thing?
yeah, I guess so.
So let's imagine they fucking crack cryostasis or whatever, right? And you get frozen for 1,000,000 years or whatever. It's just silly hypothetical, but you wake up in 1,000,000 years' time. Humans have, through evolution, changed completely, or whatever, or genetic editing or whatever that's coming up, and you can no longer reproduce with any other of your descendants. And by definition, then your DNA would no longer be compatible, and you would no longer be a person. Do you think that would be then like who is then the person?
It would
they
be
or you?
something different. What do you mean? Who is the person? When I say
Because
person,
the
I mean
definition of a
human.
person is human DNA.
Okay,
Yes.
when I say person, I'm talking about person in regards to us as a person, like human people. I mean, like if
No, you
aliens.
were talking specifically about DNA.
Yeah, it's what makes us human people. If aliens came to our planet, I wouldn't argue that we're the people and they're not the people. I mean, like human people, right? I'm concerned
Well,
with.
what do you mean by that? What do you mean by human?
I feel like this is really obvious. Do you not understand? Do you really not understand what I'm saying?
No, I don't understand.
Okay, our philosophy for the most part is concerned with human people, not alien people or other types of people, but human people, right? In general, philosophy deals with people, right? So yeah, I mean, if you go 1,000,000 years into the future, I mean, sure, they would be completely different. They probably wouldn't even be human anymore. They'd be something different. Much the same way that if you were to reach 500,000 years back.
I was under the impression that you weren't just saying human, that you were specifically saying genetic code is what makes a person.
Yeah, human.
No, that's not the same thing. You're saying two different things.
Okay, then I misspoke. I'm sorry. I thought that these were the same thing, but I'll be more specific. Your genetic code is what makes you human.
Genetic code is human?
Yes.
It makes you human in
Yes,
a way, yes.
yes.
It has the potential to make you human.
Sure. Okay.
So only humans can be a person. Is basically what you're saying.
Only humans are subject to human philosophy.
Well, nobody disputes that, but you're saying only humans are a person. That's your definition.
Okay, yeah, sure, yeah. So your argument is that if you go a million
why?
years,
But why? Well, what's your reasoning?
you're asking me to defend why we're specious? I don't know. That gets really
Why- no,
complicated.
why-
I'm not sure.
Yeah, yeah. But that's the argument you're making. Why are only humans persons? Why not animals to some degree?
Oh, so persons. Oh, I understand. Okay. So when you say persons, you're defining persons as something that we extend all of the rights that we give to persons, right? So you don't think that
Right.
humans deserve any rights necessarily, but persons do, right?
I'm asking, yeah, what is the dividing line for you? Because earlier you said DNA, I think. What is the dividing line between person and not person?
Oh, I mean, I guess I only consider humans persons, and then you're gonna ask
Why?
me why? I don't know, because I'm human.
Well, that's a weird way of looking at it.
The question that you get into deeper is going to be the deeper question is going to be why should humans be specious, right? Is why should you have an allegiance to your species over other species? Is essentially what that boils down to, right? I don't know. I've said in the past that that's like a really difficult one. I guess like the loose definition that I've kind of held is the reason why I hold that to be true is because humans with social conditioning have an ability to respect the lives of other humans, and it seems like that's lost on the large majority of animals. If they're hungry, they'll eat anything, or kill. I don't know. Like animals can't really follow laws or exist in a society or civilization like humans can. So.
Yeah, but we know what the reasons for this behavior is, right? This speciesism, because it was evolutionarily advantageous.
Well, I mean, we can
Most likely.
postulate. I mean, we can guess, but sure.
I mean, it's the most likely reason.
So
But that shouldn't really, but that shouldn't really give you a basis for anything, right? Just because it was evolutionarily advantageous.
wait, say that again.
I mean, I'm trying to. I mean,
I guess like I have a hard time extending personhood to animals, considering the fact that we eat and enslave them. Like makes me hard.
yeah, but why?
To-
Some humans enslave other humans to eat them.
But I
and kill
I don't
them.
morally approve of that either, though.
Yeah, but does it mean that they are not persons anymore?
No, I'm not debating the
human?
personhood of somebody that defies my morality.
Yeah,
I'm just
because
saying.
you said they're not persons because we eat them and kill them, and then enslave them. But why would that be a criteria for you to deny personhood?
Oh no, I mean I'm saying that I feel like we would have to radically change our behavior and the way that we interact with the entire animal kingdom if we were to change that
Yeah,
concept.
maybe we should.
Yeah, no, we might. Maybe we should. I don't know. I've admitted that in the past that I'm not sure that like maybe 100 years from now things like eating meat would be total barbarian things. I don't have a good answer for that. I really don't.
So,
I
so
don't-
the reason you don't think animal is a person is really that right now we are eating and killing them?
No. I'm sorry. That's more poking for holes in your philosophy, but you could be entirely consistent. I'm sorry. I'll be more consistent. But my very loose thing is that we are able to we're able to follow laws. Is my most important thing. When I say laws, what I mean is like humans are able to mutually respect other humans like across the planet, and that seems to be something that's missing from most animals. Like most animals will kill other animals and don't have the capacity to like follow laws or rules to exist in a civilization. I don't know if
Have
that's
you ever
like
seen have you ever seen a civilization breakdown? Do you think those are?
yeah, but
they
no
don't
other
behave like
civilization has
animals?
gotten to our point. I mean, you could argue that ants, I guess, display a lot of things like that would make them worthy.
No,
of
I mean
personhood, but-
you seem to be holding humans to a very high standard by saying that they respect each other and.
Oh yeah,
follow
no, I'll
are
hold
able
humans to
follow
a very
laws.
high standard. Of course, we're sitting here talking across thousands of miles on the internet, and monkeys are eating
Yeah,
shit
but
like
what
in
do
the
you think
forest.
would
Like,
it? Yeah, but what do you think would it take to break us down back to that animalistic level? Do you think it's
Considering that
much
we've
like-
been on this path for the past 10 to 15,000
What if
years,
fucking Trump runs civilization into the ground?
I don't think
What
that
if he
Trump has
starts
the
a nuclear
capability.
war?
I don't think that Trump is
It
going.
doesn't matter if he has the capability. I'm just saying
I don't think he's
hypothetically.
going to. I don't think that a nuclear war is going to send us back to literally like in the forest. Like once we discovered farming, it changed everything. Like we no longer have to spend all of our time hunting and gathering. Once we discovered fire, we no longer have to dedicate so much time to processing raw food in our body. Like I mean, there are
So you're
discoveries.
basically you're admitting that humans are only behaving civilized because they have all these creature comforts.
Yeah, but well,
They ha-
no, because we're able to pass knowledge down from generation to generation. I admit that that's a big part of what makes us human, but that is a part that seems to be unique to us. I don't know if that's a good
Well,
enough reason to not be speciesist or not, right? Because the argument that I give in response to what I would say in your position that I would say to other people is, if an alien civilization were to visit Earth, what right would you have to exist, right? If they're superior to you in every way, why shouldn't they enslave you and eat you? Like, how could you rationally argue against it when you do the same to animals? I don't have the answer to that. But you're not making an argument against abortion now, right? You're making an argument against whether or not we should value humans as a species.
Right. I
Like,
wasn't talking about abortion.
Oh, I
specifically.
can't defend speciesism to you. I'm sure there are philosophers much smarter than me that have written the pros and cons, but I wouldn't be able to do it on, like, I would never feel comfortable doing it. That's an opinion that I hold, like, very, very, very loosely. I don't know if I have, like, a really great defense of that.
On the topic of abortion, when the zygote or whatever, that's like the earliest state of human,
Sure.
right? When it's aborted, it cannot suffer in any way. So you're like,
I mean, nothing that's
Or-
killed can suffer in any way past the point of being killed.
no, it literally cannot suffer. In what way can it suffer?
Nothing can suffer once it's been killed. Nothing can.
Yeah, but before it's killed, like I mean, the act of abortion.
I mean,
Oh.
if I'm unconscious and someone kills me, I'm not suffering then, am I?
Are you saying, like, but you could argue that once it's reached the state of being capable of suffering? I guess I just don't like the suffering thing as, like, any measure of personhood. It just doesn't hold. I just don't understand why.
How does it not hold?
Because I don't know. Why would it? Why do I value suffering any more than enjoyment or any more than cognitive processes or any more than anything else? Like, it just seems like a weird arbitrary, like, suffering is what defines you as a person. Like, that just seems strange.
Because it speaks to the complexity of who you are.
Yeah,
as
but a lot of
being.
things. I mean, your cellular structure speaks to the complexity of who you are, and really, like, this is,
No, it
might sound a little
doesn't.
bit pedantic. Well, it kind of does, because your capacity to suffer is 100% tied into your cognitive abilities, which is 100% tied into your DNA, right? Eukaryotes or eukaryotes or whatever the fuck, your little like single cell organisms aren't experiencing.
Eukaryotes?
Yeah. Or amoebas aren't experiencing suffering on any massive cognitive level because they don't have the necessary
Yes,
functions to do so.
that is why they're on the scale of personhood
Sure.
very low, if even on there.
And all animals experience the suffering to a lesser degree of ours because their frontal lobes or whatever aren't as developed as ours. But
Yes,
all
and
of the
that's why they're not
suffering,
on the same level.
sure, but all of the suffering that we experience can all be traced back to different parts of the brain, to different neurochemical processes and interactions, which is more or less kind of related to DNA. No, what do you mean? No.
Yes, I'm not arguing that it's not related to DNA. I'm saying DNA is certainly like the seed for making you developing into a being and being able to suffer in certain ways. But that doesn't mean that DNA. DNA is maybe there's like something else in DNA that can make you into a being that can suffer. You know, like maybe when artificial intelligence evolves enough, they don't have any DNA, and maybe they can suffer in some way. And they have the same cognitive capabilities as humans. Why would they not be considered a person at that point?
Wait, say that one more time. Maybe you find something else that doesn't have DNA that also has the capacity to suffer.
Yes.
I guess as a human, that's incomprehensible to me. So I don't. I
Why?
can't- because suffering is a biological process, right? It's an avoidance thing that we developed as part of our evolutionary timeline in order to avoid things that have a negative impact on our development. So like that's the paradigm that we view suffering through. Now it's so abstract today in society that we try to give it other names or other meanings, but more or less suffering is just a biological process. Like I can't imagine for you to say what you're saying, that other things could suffer without like DNA or whatever, like would kind of be like saying the planet Mercury is suffering because it has to travel so fast around the sun so that it doesn't fall into the sun and burn up and die. Like I just don't. Now, I mean, that argument maybe isn't necessarily incorrect, but I can't perceive that as a
So
human.
what makes biology so special as opposed to
I don't know,
something-
dude. You're asking me for like the most basest of philosophy. I can't do that. I don't know, dude. I can't answer that. I don't know.
Because maybe there is just nothing that makes our biology so special in that it's like doing the same thing again, so putting it on such a high horse that only if you're a biological creature you can actually suffer. Maybe you could simulate suffering to such an extent that it actually is suffering, you know? Like in an
Maybe. I mean, at
artificial
what point
intelligence.
would an AI become sentient? Like, I don't know. I can't answer that. I don't know, dude. I'm willing to bet that there's a lot of like PhD level writing on what makes a person, or why is a person unique, or what is unique about humanity, and the abstractivity that is consciousness, and is consciousness even real? Like, I mean, those are all like really, really deep, base, fundamental concepts that I don't have I can't argue.
I think lots of professors of philosophy actually agree that once a being is able to suffer in a way like that is like us, like in the same ways as us, then it should be extended the same rights as us.
Well, then what? Can you link me a big philosopher saying that then, and then I could just go read their platform and then mull it around, I guess.
Yeah, I can look it up.
I don't know.
Oh,
what you're
I think
asking.
there's a fundamental difference between. If if a random person comes up to you and asks for your kidney, I think you have the right to say no. But if you wake up and you're already attached to somebody and then you remove yourself, I think those are different situations.